Hey everyone, so we are live now. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes. So, hello everyone. We at State of Youth Namakkal are back again with a webinar. This time we have got you not one but two vibrant youth entrepreneurs from Tamil Nadu. The one with the blue shirt you can see above is Mr. Ramasubramaniam G. He is the founder and chief listening officer at Talent Quest for India. He is also the Karmaveer Chakra awardee, and the one below is Dr. Shyam Prashad Rajasekaran. He is the founder and CEO of TwirlTact Technology Solutions Private Limited and the co-founder and CTO of Agri Tech Private Limited. And today we are going to discuss all about entrepreneurship from the real entrepreneurs. So keep your questions ready and put down all your questions in the chat box whenever you get them, and they will be answering all of them. So let's begin now.
Okay. To start off? Yeah. So what does entrepreneurship mean to you? So entrepreneurship basically, what does it mean to me? It's all about solving the challenges, solving the problems around you. Because, an entrepreneur is the person who sees what is happening, who empathize, what is happening around it, and then come up with a solution. First understand the problem and come up with a solution with the people involving the community and with the people around it. So that is entrepreneurship to me. Shyam.
Sorry.
You're
Okay.
muted.
No, yeah. Okay. So the entrepreneurship means to me, like, the problem which is surrounded us by us should be solved at some point. Actually, it might be through technology, it might be through any means. So one thing is it has to be solved. Actually. So the problem statement should be identified, and according to that we have to define a solution. Actually. So that means entrepreneurship to me, in fact. So You can earn money, you can even do it for satisfaction. Both can be done through entrepreneurship. So one can be through social entrepreneurship, one can be through direct entrepreneurship. That's it.
Types of
So
entrepreneurship, tech entrepreneurship, what Shyam is doing as one part of that. There is, social entrepreneurship as Talent Quest for India, what we try to do, that is also that. One more social entrepreneurship example, Shyam is running this Agri thing where he's trying to, solve the problem from farmer to, to directly to the plate. So I think so, on a broader sense, if you see entrepreneurship in itself, is about solving a particular challenge, and what medium and means you use depends on that, that get classified. Either you use a technology or you use a purely service based entrepreneurship. What Ola and Uber have started in India, when they say that, that's an Indian company. So there's a service based, there is a tech oriented, there is social entrepreneurship. But it's all a thin line. It's all very, very thin line. We cannot really, even in social entrepreneurship, you want to solve a problem, they use the technology, bringing in technology to solve a particular problem. So there is no exact classification per se. It's all a thin line that you connect, because entrepreneurship is all about bringing ideas together and then taking things up. So there is a thin line between every classification. But for the sake of it, if you want to say it, I would broadly say that social entrepreneurship is one, and a tech entrepreneurship purely if you are using technology to solve a particular problem. Yeah, Shyam.
Yeah, he was very precise in terms of answering about the types of entrepreneurship actually. So it's all about the domain classification. So whatever the domain you wanted to choose, you can choose in entrepreneurship. One might be on social based, one might be on tech based, one might be on a different specification. In fact, so through tech-based it might be tech-based, it might be a service sector, it might be a product-based sector, whatever it might be. So, but it should be it will be completely on a business aspect actually. So one is one what he does. One Mr. Ram, what he does is like he's running a social organization, an NGO, in fact. So that comes into social entrepreneurship, in fact. So that solves, that has huge impact on society. In fact, apart from entrepreneurship, when one wants to become an entrepreneur, they can become a social entrepreneur where solving a societal problem. One can become an tech-based entrepreneur or non-tech-based entrepreneur where they can solve a customer's problem or might be the end user's problem. So it is a wide domain actually to speak about entrepreneurship and types of entrepreneurship. But to be precise, these are a couple of things what we have defined so far.
Okay, where did you get the idea for your startup? So I think so. This is a very important question when someone wants to be an entrepreneur. Many of the people when asked where you got that spark, where you got an idea, how should I get an idea? So from my experience, I will shortly say that when I was studying back in 11th standard, in Chennai, there was one person, next to my class who was actually really good at coding. During that, one of the company came and gave us a project. During that project tenure, he used to, 1 month, he used to call me, Macha, I got the code, I'm so happy. Whenever he feels low, he used to call and say that, this is not happening. So that happened for 1 month. And after that, after the 12th public exam, he introduced me to his mother. He said that, Mom, this is Ram, who was and who will be responsible for my victory in life. So that word actually made me to think a lot what I actually did to him. So I understood that what I did to him was just non-judgmentally listen to him. So I understood the power of non-judgmental listening. And then I went back to my hometown, my village, where the government school where my mom is working. So I went there and asked each of the students what is their aim and dream. And I just listened to them, and I came out, Ramana students were coming and asking my autograph. So I remembered my Abdul Kalam's favorite quote, when your signature become autograph, you did something. But at that also, I didn't do anything, just listen to those dreams and ideas and interests. So the idea of Talent Quest for India started there, where I understood the importance of non-judgmental listening and appreciation. Because right now in 21st century, the youth, what they need is a ear to listen, and then a gentle tap on the shoulder for appreciation. So that's where the whole idea of Talent Quest for India started, where I thought, why can't we connect the local college students as a mentors as annas and akkas to the local college, school students, where they go and then listen to the dreams, appreciate their talents, give them a lot of holistic platforms for them to express their talent. So that's where the whole idea started way back in 11th standard, and through friends of friends of friends like-minded, it has been growing. So idea of startup, I would always say, empathy is an important word. Empathy is something, it's very important. You should be always be thinking about, looking about what are the challenges and empathize, and you will obviously will get to see what you can do in that situation, and then start a movement or start an organization. Yeah, over to you, Shyam.
Okay, that was a great brief thing about your idea. In fact, so first idea. Through my experience about getting an idea for my startup was something like, since I'm a backbencher, I don't study well, in fact. So, and because of the formal education, or might be the theory based education, in fact, so during the school times, so what I did was like, when I crossed my schoolings, I thought of introducing such hands-on learning practices for young school children. So that is how my idea came up actually. So many of the out of 100, there will be around 2 or 3 students who are really interested in practical hands-on learning methodologies, in fact. So we have to create a platform for all those children at very young ages, where they can even practice about, even know about technologies at very young ages, so that they can even practice technology and AI. So that is how we made a difference, and through that we had huge satisfaction actually by training kids, and we made to build them products actually. The products have been sold to hotels and restaurants across Coimbatore. So that was a huge transformation, and that is how I got my first startup idea. And second might be, during this lockdown, we were traveling onto many villages actually to meet farmers, and they were like, I don't have a platform to sell my veggies. In fact, I don't even have transportation facilities to transport my veggies from one place to another. That was a huge problem statement actually. So what I did was like, I have to start on my working with the farmers, and I started approaching customers. So together we started connecting both. So why don't we create an employment opportunity during this pandemic, was again a biggest question mark amongst me, and we started doing startup one more startup this year actually. So that is how my ideas came up, popped up in my mind actually. So since I'm a backbencher, I always wanted to think beyond every day. So yeah.
Should a person be financially stable to be an entrepreneur? Definitely not, because in my case, maybe, so as I said, those ideas popped up with my friends way back in 11th standard, and then we have been even now. So the college students in across 35 districts here. Um, the traveling charges, actually one of the corporates saw us doing it, and they actually said that we will reimburse the traveling charges of the college students going to school. And what is right now is happening is all of the social awareness activities and in-school activities. The college students who were with us during their college days as volunteer, they started working in corporate. So from their monthly salary, TQA is getting funded. So, and the school students who are traveling with us for 4 years, because we focus from 6 to 12 standards, 6 to 8 on science program, 9 to 12 on communication. So those students now going to wherever colleges they are going, they are actually starting a TQA team there and coming back as volunteers. So it is a in circular movement which is happening, and you see, why I said this is all because you doesn't need at beginning you doesn't need to be financially stable to be an entrepreneur. When your idea has actually been when an idea has been bought by a group of friends or thing to start off with, then I think so automatically people will start supporting you. In our due course of more than 8 years journey, even during this COVID time, we have done a lot of fundraising for COVID, for rations, even for data pack, because many of them had smartphone, but they don't have enough money to daily, recharge for monthly. That in itself is the biggest barrier. So data back visa. So these are all the things that we did through in our friend circle. A lot of crowdsource funding happens. So I think so. Shyam would be the right person. Where Hindu Dharma, they have been doing fundraising for paying the fees. There are a lot of people have helped the due course of time when they started. So I would say that financially need to be stable to be an entrepreneur is a myth. So you should not have crores of money to start off something. You just need to have an idea and a good team, of course. That is really important, because the set of friends which you believe in an idea and then take it forward, the good team is really important to take it to the next level. Over to you, Shyam.
Yeah, so that was very precise again. It is obviously a myth actually. You don't believe that financially you should. I mean, it doesn't need any financial things to become an entrepreneur. In fact, so you need passion. Beyond passion, you need to identify the real problem. In fact, so the real problem exists where your idea presents. So when you think about a problem, you should immediately try solving a problem. Then you can start, getting funds, grabbing from funds from the people, or might be selling your products in a wide way. So through selling products, you can raise obviously the investments on yourself, and then again you can invest on your entity. So you have to have passion. You have to have the right team. Vitamin M is always at the vitamin M is so called the money. Problem statement, third thing goes for the right idea or the solution. And final point I would like to mention is the teammate or the co-founder who you're going to choose. So these four parameters would make you successful to being an author. So that's what I wanted to mean actually in my terms. So what I did was the same actually. So I didn't have any financial support during my start. I had just 9 rupees to start my company. So then I went on to a school, pitched this idea. They were very happy. So this is how it came up actually. Yeah, brother, next to you, tips for young entrepreneurs. Okay, hope he is on hold. Okay, yeah. So tips for young entrepreneurs. He's on hold. It's okay. So tips for
Yeah,
young.
I guess he has some network issues, so you can go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So tips for young entrepreneurs, I would like to mention, you have to be happy with what you have. It's the most important factor of being successful. Or you should stay positive all the time. It's not about when you face criticisms, you should never feel like you have lost in the game, or your ball is not in your court. Or you also have to be staying stable when you succeed, and you have to challenge yourself all the time. So in fact, challenging yourself means that you'll be going through the toughest parts what others haven't gone through so far, and you have to believe in yourself. That becomes a greater opportunity for you, in fact, to obtain the best amongst you. And you have to utilize the opportunities whatever comes to you. You shouldn't regret the opportunities. That is what entrepreneurs should always have in their mind. And probably you should treat failures and criticisms as your best friends. That is the most important factor of being successful. And might be do what you love. That is again the second important factor. So not only vitamin M defines to be everything. Vitamin M means money. So that doesn't alone means to be everything. So earning money is so easy to tend. So you can do one thing. You start sourcing great people. That these are a few tips for young entrepreneurs who wants to do something big even today. So yeah, brother, please, the mic is on to you.
Yeah, so as Sham has covered the main interpersonal skills, that having a network, having a passion, driven, and all these things is of course an important part of being starting a point of young entrepreneur. But I want to leave another thought for this major tip. I would narrate with a small story. One of my role model is Dr. Balasubramaniam, who started SYRM and Gram. There is one beautiful story where he's very honest. He was actually a doctor and then went on to become a development practitioner, and then doing a lot of work across Karnataka and even across whole India. So when he was put up as a doctor in a small village, long back, maybe 20 years back, before he started SYRM, he found out that in the village that the women are actually for their water, they are traveling a long kilometers to fetch the water and come back. So what Dr. Balasubramanian thought was, okay, let's bring the piping system to the village. So he took his own money and all these things, and then made a piping system for the whole village. And he was like, the next day when I go, that people will appreciate me, and I know I will be praised. I did something great for the community. He was like thinking in that sense. So when Dr. Balu went the next day, the women have started scolding left and right. left and right to Dr. Balu and then said that, did we ask the piping system to you, or did we ask? So one of the lady actually invited Dr. Balu to stay with her for one day to understand the day-to-day activities of the woman. So while he was there for the one day, Dr. Balu has actually identified that they were all busy the whole throughout day. The only time the women got to spend for themselves is the time when they all went together to fetch the water from the river. So basically, that time of going and fetching river is the time that they got to chat with their friends and come back and things around. So when Dr. Balu bought piping system, basically that also got cut. It's coming to their home now. They doesn't have any time. So what I'm saying to the entrepreneurs, and don't jump into conclusions before understanding the real need of the community, because sitting from here you can say what you want for them, that is not going to work in the real development thing. So it's really important to involve the community, like how Shyam said that he went to villages, he spoke with the farmers, if he's understood what is the real problem and then actually started down how to think about. So I always suggest to young people, okay, you have something, don't be in a rush to push it to the market. First understand what is the need and then use your skills, use your network, use your passion, and then create a solution involving the community. That is more important. So because that is in customers, you need to involve them. So I thought that is very important tip for upcoming people. What are the challenges one could come across? See, being an entrepreneur is in itself is a happy challenge, right? So every day is a challenge. Every day you learn a lot. Every day you come across a lot of challenges, either through the stereotypical way of நாலு விதமா சொல்றதா இருக்கட்டும். So அந்த மாதிரி. So there are a lot of ways of challenges you come through, whether through people or whether you plan something, it doesn't work out. Because entrepreneurship is all about risk taking, and entrepreneurship is all about having a plan B, C, D, E, F. So it is nothing like you set on a plan and then you work it up and then come back, and that doesn't work out here. So that is more important, and it's very important to what I would say is very important to bring the team towards a singular goal. That is more important. That's a very important thing, that we may face a lot of challenges in that front. So having a clear focus, whatever happens, make sure that you're not deviating from what you really want to achieve. And always, as I always say, ears should always be open. Listening is something that entrepreneurs must have. So yeah, over to you, Shyam.
So many challenges one could come across is something like they would be into a comfortable phase of life actually. So once if you wanted to become an entrepreneur, you should obviously get into the field. You have to obviously work with the people. You have to get down on the ground. You have to take care of everything obviously. So it doesn't come on day one when you start doing something. So it takes lots of time. In fact, it has lots of failures involved. And if you have 99% of failures, you have 1% of success. So that is how that is what the challenge is, what usually entrepreneurs face. And second might be talking about entrepreneurship or doing something related to business. They obviously face something based on cash flow management. We obviously face something on hiring teammates, and we face something on some issues on hiring the employees. So, and many entrepreneurs obviously has some great doubt on themselves. So that is again a huge huge imbalance what's happening in the society today. So it's something like what if Aishwarya is able to do, or I'm not able to do this. So there is a huge doubt in between people. So you don't need to doubt yourself. If you're going to doubt on yourself, then you're going to fail at some point. Never doubt on yourself. You have to have self-confidence. So that is again a biggest challenge which is being faced by people. And adopting to a startup culture is something like getting into a real phase, so-called Neptune, or a different part of beyond Earth. So again, the time management obviously speaks. Social rejection will happen obviously. So whenever you're going to do something big, obviously people will start criticizing you. So there happens social rejection, and you have to take care of multiple roles and responsibilities. You have to take care of the work-life balance. So there are lots to do with entrepreneurship. So these are few challenges what entrepreneurs come across in their journeys. So yeah.
Do you have a role model? Yeah, so initial, as I said, way back in student life, my biggest role model was Mahatma Gandhi. Still, Mahatma Gandhi and Abdul Kalam was my biggest role models. But being in an entrepreneurial journey, what is something really amazing is you get to learn from each and every one you interact with. You listen to each and every one, because everyone will say a different perspective towards what is happening. So for the last half an hour I was reading about what Shyam did. Shyam became a role model to me. The way he is at a young age, he started and things around reading about him, so he was interacting with him. So yeah, so being an entrepreneur journey, you get to meet a lot of people and then learn from each. Every day is a learning from people when you listen to them. But the bigger role model for me was always Mahatma Gandhi, for his for you can Gandhi's ideas are amazing. So you can, if you want to understand an economy, read Gandhi. If you want to understand nation, read Gandhi. If you want to any topic you take, if you dwell onto Gandhiji's ideas, I think so. He has given it everything. See, all this now, this self-reliance, Atmanirbhar, whatever is still, it is way back. Gandhi has said, self-swaraj, J.C. Kumarappa's economies, and all Gandhian ideologies are all there for a self-sustaining country. So, Gandhi's idea, of course, Abdul Kalam, for the way, it is him who had the belief in youngsters first. When everyone were saying youngsters and youth were, he was the one who confidently said, youth will be rise and we will. That's why we both are sitting here and talking, and there is someone state of youth is coming. It's all started off from one man who believed that, youth of India will rise up and do it. So I would say first Vivekananda said it, and then in our times, I think so, Kalam sir have said it. So Gandhi and Kalam is always my role model. But on the social entrepreneurship side, I would say the biggest role model I would always look up to or talk about to people when I see is from Coimbatore, our Arunachalam Muruganandam, the person who started the sanitary napkin, the pad man. Amazing story. Empathizing, whatever design thinking, the whole concept, you have done it and prove it to you and show it to you. So on social entrepreneurship side, he's just brilliant. And there are a lot of social entrepreneurs around us. There is, Girish Bharatwaj, who is known as the, bridge man of India, who construct bridge among villages. There are beautiful, social entrepreneurs around us doing beautiful stuff. There is Padmanabhan, of course, doing a great job. Yeah. Over to you, Shyam.
That was really great, actually. So obviously, we also come across too many people, actually. So common role models are equal for all the entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs across the globe, actually. So my role model is again Dr. Abdul Kalam sir and Vivekananda and other lots of great people, in fact. So it's not about the age, it's not about the position, it's not about where they come from. It's all about what they actually do, what they have actually solved, what is the problem they actually took up. So I actually have come across so many people, in fact, in my journey. So I obviously salute Padman of India, Mr. Arunachalam Muruganathan, or might be youngest kid, so-called Sabri Venkat, who is in Coimbatore. So he's again such a brilliant kid. Actually, he's visually impaired. Actually, so he's one of my role model. And there are hundreds of people, in fact. So beyond everything, what we should have in our mind is you are. So that is how it works at some point of time. You have lots of people saying that they are your role models, but at some point of time, you have to become your role model again. So that is how you can grow beyond and beyond every day. So yeah, that's it.
Placements are startup. So that's a question many people would ask. Placement, should I start up or what you do? So see, in my opinion, it's again I would see whatever I and Shyam are talking today. It is all from our experience or whatever we have heard or what we've experienced. But at the end of the day, you being on ground, your life, your family, and then you want to take a call on that. So this is all personal opinions from our experience coming our way. It's like not that we are the gurus and we are just saying something. So placements of startup, I would say, see, there are both the ways of looking at. I know a lot of people who have been there in the company with an idea of starting because, see, for example, they want to do a tech-based startup. What many of my friends did that they worked under the tech-based company for 2 years to understand how it works. See, to be a boss or to start something, you should also be a thing to work under someone. That is a way of looking at it, where you go understand the nuances of it for 2 3 years, and then you start up, come up, gain the experience, gain the network, and then start. That is one way of looking at it. If you want to, have you need to check your family also whether that is something that coming in, have a placement for 2 years, nothing wrong in it, and then take it up. Like me, parallelly doing is also possible. Like 9 to 5 job, 9 to 6, and then again back parallelly you can also run an organization. That is also possible, like what Shyam's doing, and fully and taking that. I want to be a fully an entrepreneur, want to solve problem from the beginning, from the college days. If that is also brilliant, but for that need a lot of what I would say, a lot of courage. And you should start thinking way back. I would, whenever I'm interacting with engineering graduates, basically I would say that pivot your mini projects, on pivot your final year projects towards solving a particular problem in a society, rather than buying from some random shops. Your basic projects itself, when you start thinking about with your friends of solving a problem, that may actually turn into a startup. Your friends can actually do a startup. Your final year project can actually convert into a startup. So there are multiple ways of doing it, and at the end of the day you need to think and retrospect where I'm gonna be, and which path I'm gonna be taking. But at the end of the day, I would say there should be a lot of social entrepreneurship emerging from India. There are emerging, and there is a huge need of social entrepreneurs, basically in tier 2, tier 3 cities. Rather, if everyone comes and work in Bangalore or Chennai or cities, who is going to take care of Coimbatore, Salem, Karura, Thiruvarur? Youngsters who have done, they need to see the problems around it, and they need to start an enterprise to employ the people from their community, from their locality, and then do it. So we need a lot of youth social entrepreneurs. That's where the whole focus right now it's been going on. Over to you, Shyam.
So again, the points were were very precise, being answered by Mr. Ram actually. So again, it depends on you actually. So one might be the financial freedom what you have in your home. You can take up either placements or the startup idea. So in my perspective, I was something like I started my journey in the age of 18 actually. So along with one great social entrepreneur in Coimbatore, he was my elder brother, like my elder brother actually. So when I started working with him, I had lots of opportunities, in fact, to interact with the student communities, in fact, to interact with the people in slum. We started delivering, foods to hunger people. And at some point of time, I realized myself that I have to do something on myself, myself on my own actually. So that is how I came into startup. My huge dream all the time is something like I should never attend any interviews in my life. So that was my huge dream again. So I shouldn't demotivate you at any point, but still I'm letting you know in a different perspective. So it depends on you. There is no such thing saying like you should only take up placements and you don't even have any opportunities in terms of startup. Or it's not something like it took last 5 years to 6 years time for us to even sit at this place. The journey was very hard so far. It's not very easy to talk about entrepreneurship. It's not so easy to talk about the startup life. The journey was very hard. We are just sharing our few things with you people actually. So you have to obviously get into social entrepreneurship. You can meet lots of great people. You can meet lots of problems day by day. You can try solving a problem every day. So by means of you can by means of opting for placements, it is a 9 to 6 job. Obviously, it has no great learnings. You have limited possibilities of growth. Might be it has again too many restrictions, and you will never be exposed to society. You couldn't have an opportunity to think wider actually. So and again, you don't have networking never happens at any point. So again, at 10 point, it will be like 6543210, a ratio called 6543210. 6 digit salary, 5 days of work, one four-wheeler actually, and a 3 bedroom house in Chennai or Bangalore or Hyderabad or Dubai or somewhere across the globe, and two people at home, no elders at home, and one kid having with us, and zero tensions. That is life of getting into a placement category. Might be. So it depends on people. It depends on your perspective. So you can opt anything, whatever you want. But if you are getting into a startup, you should be ready for anything and everything. Yeah. So you obviously end of the day we are satisfied at in point. So that is what we get in entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Pros and cons of entrepreneurship. Again, it is very subjective to each and every person, because some person may see one as a pro of entrepreneurship, another person may see that as a con. So it's very subjective of pros and cons of entrepreneurship. But the overall, the pro of entrepreneurship is like, if you want to say in that language, you are the boss of what you're doing. So you have that freedom, you have that thought process to take it up. You have your time to think through, and you will learn a lot actually by doing it, because in other places you will be directed to do. Here it's like you do, you fail, you experimented, you go next, and you do, you fail, you experimented, come back. It's like you learn a lot by yourself on your own. So that I see as a great pro of entrepreneur. That may also be a con for other one, so that it's very subjective. So I would say learning by doing is something a great pro of being an entrepreneur. But I would say the con of being an entrepreneur, I would not see that as a con of being an entrepreneurship. But you should really have that mental strength and ability, because you will be bombarded with a lot of stereotypical thoughts. What Shyam said of social rejections happens, and things around when some of your friends are earning in 6 digits or 7 digits or 8 digits, and you will get to see and things and back and holding things up. So that amount of mental strength to be there actually. So that is something which is really, really important. But otherwise, being an entrepreneur in itself is a great pro. So what else is needed is what my statement is. Being an entrepreneur it's a great pro. You are actually creating something on your own, and your baby is developing, and you're doing something on your own. Yeah, over to you, Shyam.
So yeah, obviously it adds up lots of as Ram told, it is something like you have to do it on your own, and you have to take up responsibilities every day. So that is pros of entrepreneurship. Obviously, there is a huge possibility of learning something every day from each and every failures whatever you face. So that is again comes under pros. I wanted to mean. And you get to see your work or your way of work changes so many lives. So that is again that is how you can make a huge impact in the society. And the career growth in initial terms would be like if your friend is traveling, like as Ram said, to 6 digits or 7 digits or 8 digits or even 9 digits, you'll be sitting on the first digit. In fact, so first digit in fact is a bigger question amongst many entrepreneurs. So on the initial phases of startup journey, so when you come across many learnings, when you come across many products, building up some products or getting into society, talking with your customers, then you start earning better than what your friends do. So earning is something like which can be made in a day, but the learnings what you get from the failures and possibilities of becoming successful is like you have to you have to go through lots of things. So these are some pros of entrepreneurship. Each and everything, whatever we see, we have to see it as in a positive note. There is nothing called a negative note actually. But still, there are few things to discuss with the cons of entrepreneurship. So our schedules are real unpredictable actually. So we don't have time to sit with the family. So this is one big impact what we do. We always keep on traveling to places. And second might be if we don't work smart, we'll fail at some point. So working hard is one more challenge, but working smart is the biggest challenge whatever the people faces today. So and we are stressed all the time. The results are really hard to achieve at some point. So it takes lots of time. It takes lots of energy. It needs lots of time to be invested on that, and risk and inability of instability of funds being a biggest risk factor amongst people today. So if you wanted to do something, then you have to do something immediately. You shouldn't wait. So that is how an opportunity can be grabbed at some point. So these are few cons of entrepreneurship, but still we have to turn these cons into pros. That is how we can become a successful entrepreneur. So that's great.
When could one say they that he is an entrepreneur? Actually, you know, this is something I've been dwelling in a long time. Actually, everyone is an entrepreneur. If you're working under someone, so let's talk about this. Who when he or she is an entrepreneur. I would say whenever you actually value add or put an innovation to any of the thing that you do in your life, you are actually an entrepreneur. You are actually an intrapreneur. I would say that there is a concept called coming in. There is an entrepreneur and intrapreneur. So intrapreneur is someone when he starts something. Entrepreneur is something then whatever he does, he creates a value add. Take for example, this IT people do this manual testing, and they were looking. One person made an automated tool of it. So he's actually an entrepreneur because he actually innovated something and he did it. So I would say that everyone in their one or the other ways are actually having an entrepreneurial thinking. It's actually having an entrepreneurial thinking that's really, really important in every person's life. But if you're making that thinking or an entrepreneurial thinking or an idea into a business, into a social business or a business to create more profit, then a person may be termed as so-called entrepreneur in the real sense. But everyone is actually having an entrepreneurial idea. The kid is having a lot of entrepreneurial ideas these days. They come up with a lot of ideas to make things work efficiently. You observe a kid and it shows you a lot of ideas. So everyone is an entrepreneur, and everyone need to develop that entrepreneurial thinking ability more. How should I add more value to it? How should I make it more better for the people around it? I would not say how should I make more easy. No, that's not technological. I would be accustomed to it. How it make more accessible, affordable to the people. So each and everything that a person do, I think so he's an entrepreneur in that sense. But entrepreneur idea in that sense. But convert that an idea into a business, and involve a lot of people, and you employ a lot of people, or take a lot of things. I think so the real meaning of literal sense of entrepreneurship comes in. Over to you, Shyam.
That was a very very nice answer actually. So talking about anyone can become an entrepreneur these days actually. So I would like to mention a couple of young entrepreneurs who have who are very different in their own means. So one I would like to mean Miss Vinusha. She's from Chennai actually. She's around 10 years old. So I had an interaction with her last couple of months back actually. So she is a young chef in India. She is the youngest chef in India, and she has designed a wonderful baking kit amongst she has designed on herself. It is something called a baking kit, a STEM baking kit, STEM based baking kit, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics based baking kit on herself. And she started publishing about her startup idea with lots of people across India, and she started selling her product in ODCs and different stores across Chennai. And I asked her a question. So how far you defined that this idea works out? She told only one point which inspired me a lot. She was like, "Sir, I have designed a kit on myself. I have experienced this kit actually. I know end to end about how this kit works, and I know that the cost of this kit comes around 1,000 rupees. I am selling it for 999. People would like to opt for 999, not obviously for 1,000. So what happens? I would like to I'd be able to sell at least 1,000 products each and every month. So I have targeted the right place to sell my product, that is ODC, where many peoples and many kids come in to get lots of books and lots of stuffs out there. So I have shared this with my school children, and they are also ready to get this kit. In fact, so that is how I started scaling up my business. So I have sold more than 500 products till today. So I have been selling every day. So that was one huge answer what she told and inspired me. She was around 10 years old. She's around 10 years old right now, and she's from Chennai. And one other friend who is a friend of mine, he is now working at Hyundai in Chennai. He's in topmost position today. So we together were working in the earlys of 2014 and 2015. He is also under Padmanabhan. So he's Mr. Praveen. So what he does is like when he was he hails from a rural background actually, from a village near Pollachi. So what he does is in the evenings after their the studies of after their college, He used to sculpt each and every, kind of, pencil based sketches. So he used to travel in buses, and he used to travel in public transports, and used to sell it with customers on the public transport itself, saying like, he can even sculpt within 5 minutes of time. A face of a person can be sculpted within 5 minutes of time. So it's kind of really interesting idea. He sold it for each and every product will be sold for 150 rupees. So he'll be traveling in the public transport. He'll be selling all the pencil sketches, and the very next day he'll be earning somewhere around 3,000 rupees. He'll be paying the best fees, and he'll close the deal. And probably the very next month he'll again travel in a different bus. He'll be selling hundreds of products every day, and he'll be again paying the fees and best bills and etc. So people, whoever does or whoever starts something on business perspective, whoever starts developing a prototype into a product, whoever starts selling into product to the customers, becomes an entrepreneur. So product can be by any means, right? So it doesn't define that, when one starts a business, and when a company becomes a 100-member company only, that doesn't alone mean that you're becoming an entrepreneur. So when you start doing something, you become an entrepreneur. When you start doing many things, you become a serial entrepreneur. That's how it works. Yeah.
And Shyam, interestingly, Vinisha's father is my school senior. I know Vinisha's father.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Super, super, super. She is literally
How?
inspiring, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. How did you know when you had the right idea? Okay, this is something, how did you know when you had the right idea? When you have an idea, you doesn't know that is the right idea. Because you might have thinking that is a right idea, but when you go on ground and then do it, and in case of what Sham's way, the customer says it's really good, and then getting a feedback, then you come to know what the idea is really working. I mean, in my case of social entrepreneurs, when the volunteers actually go and create an impact to the students, when the students feedback, or the teachers feedback, the parents feedback, and volunteers feedback, when we come in, then you say that see, it nothing is at first is a perfect idea, right? So you cannot term anything as a perfect idea as a first point of time. So the first point of idea is actually when you have the right idea, then
I guess he's having some network issues, so you can go ahead with the question.
Sorry, sir. He'll be joining in another couple of minutes. I'll go ahead and answer. So having the right idea, in my terms, is something like, you will find like, when you start doing something, and if it reaches to a number of customers, and if customers are really happy, then you feel that you are into the right idea, you're into the right path. If people give you some feedback about your idea, if people gives you some negative impact about your idea, then we'll be like, we have to opt for an option B or option C. So opting for a right idea, or knowing that my idea is really right, is something like, I have to learn by doing. I have to start focusing on what I actually wanted to do. So that is how my idea will be like, whether it is the right idea or the wrong idea. So you are the one who have to decide whether it is right or wrong. Not the people has to decide your idea, right? So people will always laugh at your idea when you start doing something initially. Then people will become your customers at some point. So that is how you can turn your idea into the best product amongst present in this world, probably. So that is how your idea speaks. That is how the right idea will be defined. Yeah, brother, please go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, my network is very bad. It's just going off and on. I think so. Sham has completed what I started. So yeah, great. How did you plan on growing your business? I think so. Sham needs to answer this first. Yeah.
Okay, so growing my business was something, literally, I was something like, I had no other option other than opting for a startup. Since I'm a backbencher, I don't study well. I had too many areas in my engineering, in fact. So I don't have an opportunity to opt for placement. So that is how I came into starting a business. So at some point, coming into growing a business is something like, you have to start from scratch. You have to go through the toughest possibilities ever others haven't gone through. And third point I would like to mention is something you have to target the right set of customers. You have to target all the segment of customers. So this is how we can grow a business in a better way. So it's not something like elite customers can alone get your products and they can alone use your products. It's all about everyone can use your product. Everyone should use your product. So that is how you can scale up your business better. And at some point of time, marketing works here. So I initially worked on social medias. Actually, I initially took up Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to scale up my business better. So many people started asking about my business when before launching the product to the customer segment. So that is how my business came into existence in today's world. And probably at some point of time, I always wanted to be unique from others. We always go through a different pathway what others haven't gone through, and we have to always think like the products has to be sold for the lesser cost what the competitors haven't sold so far. And second point, we always think beyond possibilities every time. So it's not something like you have to limit your possibilities. You have to think beyond and beyond. So that is how at least you can at least target 5 or 6 customers a day. So you have to keep working on the ground every day. And these are few plans what we did for scaling up our business. So at some point of time, we realized that there is a huge scope even in rural parts of Tamil Nadu. So then we started initiating this in few rural districts of Tamil Nadu. Like I won't mention Salem or Erode as rural district, but still it comes under tier 2 or tier 3. So there we started running our businesses. When we started running, people were like they weren't understanding. So we made an organization kind of thing, and we made them to understand about the product, what we are actually delivering, and people started enjoying the product. So at some point of time, what we did was like we even delivered it to small caves and restaurants. So that became a huge revenue model for us, and we scaled up better. So one thing, and finally, I would like to conclude with you can use social medias in the proper way. You can use social medias for building up your business. Second point, you have to analyze what competitors are actually doing. Competitors are not something like Flipkart or Amazon or top companies like operate in US or UK. So even the guy who's sitting next to you will be a competitor. So you have to opt everyone as a competitor. You have to learn from the competitors. You have to gain lots of ideas from the competitors. And third point, you should never feel when you fail. You should feel very proud and very happy when you fail. And fourth point is something like the cost of product should be very much less compared to the competitors. And fifth point, it should reach to all segment of customers. It's not something like it should only reach to the elite people. It should always be onto the ground. It should reach everyone. According to that, you have to design your product. So these are a few points that how can you build your business, and networking also plays a major role in building business. So please, you can start networking with lots of people on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. You can start interacting with people about what they're actually going to do or trying to do. And in fact, there are lots of platforms to learn from people. So immediately start doing something, you will find lots of opportunities at some point of time. Yeah. So these are a few points I would like to mention where we started growing our businesses and how we started growing. Yeah.
Yes.
What kind of enterprise? Yeah, brother.
What kind of enterprise do I need to build? So to answer to that previous question and this one is together. So ours is not a business, but what is a plan of growing TQIC? The ultimate success we keep the vision is creating socially responsible leaders. So there are so now we are creating a culture of volunteerism. We are bringing in the youngsters are coming into volunteerism. Their parents are coming in. The family is involving in the volunteerism. Now the next step for us is making these volunteers in each of the district to become a social entrepreneur, where volunteerism from the learning part of it, they become a social entrepreneur. Right now, that is the focus of us, where we are conducting youth and social entrepreneur mindset workshop, and then making many of the youth to start social entrepreneurship. So volunteerism towards next step is creating youth social entrepreneurs. That was our scale of thinking of our way of thinking, and what kind of enterprise do I need to build. So if as I said, this is a community. TQI is a community. We always say it's a family. It's a community. It's a volunteering community, and we want to expand that, the volunteering community, and bring in a sense of volunteerism to a lot of people. And then, as I said, the next plan is to create a lot of social entrepreneurs, youth social entrepreneurs in each of these places. And we want to build an incubator, rural incubators. That's a long-term dream, where we bring in a rural incubators and give a lot of opportunities for youth to come and experiment, and then to solve the problems in their locality and create a lot of job opportunities. So if you want to take in that enterprise, we want to be an enabler, in building up incubators to start, start many youth to become social entrepreneurs. Yeah, over to you. Yeah.
That's really great, actually. So nice. It was very precise, in fact. Thank you. So as he has defined lots of things, but I don't have anything to define. But still, on my perspective, build kind of enterprise you need to build is something like, you can work on supply chain, you can work on technology, you can work on processing, you can work on you can work on any domain, actually. So it depends on the field of interest what you wanted to opt, in fact. So that is the first point what you wanted to mention. So then talking about a different perspective, as already brother told, we are also working for creating some employment opportunities for people who are in rural segments of South India. And might be that's really a good idea. So about talking about the incubation which has to be created in rural parts of India. So that's again a really creates a big impact in society. So apart from this, what we are actually planning to do is like we are going to give 20 days of intensive training program for the transgender communities, where we have already employed a couple of transgenders in our organization. So we are planning to give 20 days of intensive training program. Post training program, they'll be a job creator, and we'll be giving them an opportunity to sit and work in our organization, and they can start doing something on their own. And probably that might be on tech based, that might be non-tech based, that might be on a different perspective. So according to that, we'll be bringing in people, we'll be bringing in mentors to guide and mentor them to build products, and they'll be selling it online, or they'll be selling to the customers. So that is the next goal what we are actually planning to do. And these are few perspectives but we don't obviously we don't have time. That is a huge major negative factor what we are facing today. So we have time, we can do wonders, but still lots of student communities are ready to enable lots of things. So please do comment. You get lots of opportunities. We are ready to help out. We are ready to help you in every means possible. So only thing is, you have to be passionate, you have to be creative, you have to be innovative, you have to be attentive. That's it. Keep going. Yes. Next question.
I think so. Shyam is the right person. Go ahead, take it up.
So starting investment is something like I have already answered this question. In fact, in the fifth or sixth question. So getting an investment initially on the first phase of building something it's very critical, actually. So when we started doing something, I initially took an idea the last evening. So what I did was, like, I started designing a kind of poster. And the very next day, I went on to a school to pitching this idea with the people. So I had somewhere around 9 rupees in my hand. So when I went to a school, the security who was standing outside the school premises was like, "Do you have your business card?" I was like, "I don't have a business card because I don't have money." So I was like, I had a sheet of paper. I designed a logo on the sheet of paper, and I gave it to them. It was something like, you are rejected. You have to exit the school. You are not you are not permitted to get into the school to meet the principal. So I was like, why don't you let me in? And I have a business card which is not yet been printed, but is yet to be printed. And when I got an opportunity to meet the principal, she was again like, "Where is your business card?" I gave my sheet of paper to her. And she was like, she was like asking one question: what would be your commercials about, training our kids on technology? I was like, I would like to charge 1 rupee a day for a child, and it would be something like 365 rupees a year. So they were very happy. I got somewhere around 1,000 students from one school. So then I went on to second school, third school, fourth school, fifth school. I got somewhere around 31 schools in the first year itself. Before developing a company, before starting a company, I got to reach 31 schools across the city, and we started training kids on IoT and AR. So we made a huge impact. We started raising funds from the customers, and we started reinvesting on the idea. So and apart from this, obviously there are lots of people who come in for investing on the idea, or might be grabbing your idea, or might be taking part in your organization. So that also happened at some point. The opportunities for raising investments can be through venture capitalists, or might be through fundraising, which can be done through crowdfunding platforms. And third might be government organizations like Niti Aayog, government organizations like there are SIH. There are lots of government organizations who are ready to fund for your startups. So you can apply for that. Even in fact, you can write up a proposal and you can publish on the notes whatever is coming up every day. So these are few ways where you can raise investments. So initially, overcoming a startup investment is obviously a big trouble. So it is obviously a myth. You don't need investment when you start a business. You only need a good idea. If you have a good idea, you can start building something great. Yes. So this is how I came into raising some investments on myself, and I started reinvesting on the idea. And again, we started approaching customers. We again started approaching lots of people. So then we got up some deals, and today we operate with over 100 schools across India. Yeah. So we also work with the creamy layer schools actually. And apart from this, as social initiative, we also work with government schools, 5 government schools in the city. Through CSR, we are doing this actually. So obviously, it should also have some social benefits for school children, government school children. We are also doing this. So there are hundreds of possibilities for obtaining investments from varied entities or varied organizations. But only thing is you have to make it right. That's it. Yes.
How does entrepreneurship help in achieving SDG 8? So SDG 8 is on economic growth and decent work. So as the lot of stats says that women in workforce is less, and there is a lot of unemployment which is there in India too, which is rising. And if you connect all these dots, entrepreneurship is the way to move ahead. In achieving SDG, that is actually will be a biggest boost, because in the case of what Shyam does in his organization of empowering women and empowering other gender through training and empowering them, or through entrepreneurship, you employ a lot of people at the community level. So I think so entrepreneurship is the biggest way to achieving SDG 8, and in the case of actually achieving all SDGs. So we need a lot of creative ideas to because 2030 I think so is a cutoff year for achieving all SDGs. I think so, and for achieving, I was reading a report where it says that India needs some amount, trillions of amount, if we actually need to achieve all SDGs within the stipulated amount of time. So we need a lot of cost-effective ways. We need a lot of ways in the community level to do it. We need a lot of hands to do it. We need a lot of innovative thinking to do it. So actually, entrepreneurship is the way to achieve all the sustainable development goals. We need a lot of hands. We need a lot of youth to start something, provide a lot of jobs, and then take it up to achieve SDG 8. Not only SDG 8, but I think so all the SDGs together. Yeah. You're on mute, Shyam.
Okay. So Mr. Ram has mentioned all the points, in fact. So I would like to mention the last point. He has also mentioned that, but still, I wanted to mention it. So about the SDGs, it's not something like we are just not focusing on economic growth of the country. We are also focusing on bringing in lots of hands to join together to build something better every day. So through bringing in lots of people, we can obviously achieve this in at least 5 years or 7 years or 8 years time. So we shouldn't keep on talking about SDGs. We always have to work on SDGs goals. That is how we can achieve this at least within another 5 or 10 years time. So it is very crucial to achieve, but still it's easily possible. So talking about the economic growth or might be creating employment opportunities for people is obviously the right path actually to achieve the SDG 8. In fact, for the economic growth of the country as well as creating sustainable workforce for people today. Yeah.
So yes, with this we have come to the end of this amazing session. I hope it was useful for all of you. And would you like to add on something, or let's end the session?
One point to all, maybe this set of youth, and might be many people would be seeing it. What Shyam has also said, the point of opportunities which are available to become an entrepreneurship, apart from VCs and angel investors. See, there are a lot of fellowships which many people are not aware of, and many youngsters are not aware of it. So, if you want to make a change in education, there are a lot of fellowship, Youth India Fellowship, Young India Fellowship, Teach for India Fellowship, William Clinton Fellowship, Obama Fellowship. There are a lot of incubators right away available. Deshpande Foundation in Karnataka, and you want to start a non-profit, there is Encore Tech Startup who's ready to fund you. There is Nudge Foundation, there is to fund you. So you need a mentor, you need a good side of ecosystem to start something. There are n number of opportunities available in India right now. So, I see a lot of only city people are aware of it and applying it. So there are a lot of ideas which is there from tier 2, tier 3, and people, they should be aware of it. And the college students need to do right amount of Google search. So, to understand all these things, to get to know and then start applying. So there are a lot of opportunities available, hit on the right opportunity and you get a good mentor and ecosystem, it will easily will fall into place. Yeah.
So what he said was right, in fact. So there are lots of opportunities to grab. So only thing is we have to start obtaining to these opportunities. We have to start searching for the opportunities. And there are more than 500 plus incubators available across India, where you can go approach them, where you can raise funds from them. And when you start publishing about your idea on social medias on the right platform, you get lots of opportunities. You get lots of connects from people, where people are ready to invest on an idea. In fact, we people are also ready to invest on one or two ideas where it should also be sustainable. It should also help society. So if that works out, we are also ready to invest on one or I am ready to invest on one or two ideas. In fact. So, but we have been searching for people for the past 3 or 4 years. We haven't got the right hand actually. In fact, India has more than crores and crores of youngsters. But the way the problem is something like, why should I opt for this opportunity and why don't my friend opt for this? So this is one more biggest question being into younger minds actually. So completely, I would like to mention that you completely erase from your mind. You start working on your own. You will go through many toughest times. So the opportunities what we had is something very few. In fact, the opportunities what you people are going to have is larger in number actually. So being a 24-year-old guy and he is my senior, and probably we people have gone through many tough times and failures. So only thing what we have learned is if we wanted to do something, we'll start doing it immediately. So that's the huge secret of success. Yes.
So yeah, I would like to end it with a quote. So an idea can transform the whole world, and with your idea and putting it into action, we can achieve all the SDGs. Not at the 2030, but even before that. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. A special thanks to Shyam sir and Ram sir. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for this wonderful session. And again, I would like to, thank the organization for giving us an opportunity to serve better. Keep doing great things, and I would like to thank Mr. Ram also, for joining with me for the session. Thank you so much, brother. It was wonderful meeting you. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, and thank you so much, Ram, and thank you so much, every great inspirations. You will also be into the field. You will be inspiring us.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure and means a lot.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you, team. Bye
Yeah,
bye. Shyam
thank
will connect
you.
later.
Yep.
Bye. Bye.